Yo, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome to my corner of the world. We're here for a tribute reaction. It is a collaboration video from Klaus and TVDU editor, and it is their video, Klaus and Mikael, A Father's Hatred. I feel like I have seen this one before. Like, that title just sounds so familiar to me, but I don't remember watching this. I don't know. Regardless, we're hopping in here. TVDU editor specifically asked me to watch this, and you know what? I'm here for it. So let's do it. Link to the original video will be in the description if you want to check it out on your own. Let's run this up.
You have a visitor.
Have you seen these two?
All his life, there's only ever been one man he has truly feared.
He said his name is Mikael.
I'll just keep the captions up.
Don't you want to know about your friend Mikael?
Vampire who hunts vampires.
What do you know about Mikael?
Mikael was such an awesome villain.
Mikael.
You're Klaus's father.
And I'm the only one who can rid you of him forever.
I do wish he had a little more screen time,
Klaus
though.
and my father did not get on too well.
If he came here, Klaus would flee and never turn back.
The way I recall it, he ran you out of town.
And our father hunted him, hunted us, for centuries.
For 1,000 years, I lived in fear.
We must leave. Every time we found a moment of happiness, we were forced to flee. Mikael is very nearly upon us.
Rebecca! Come on, we gotta go, sweetheart!
Anytime I settled anywhere, our father would hunt me down and
Go!
We must run.
chase me off.
Imagine hating somebody
So I ran.
that much for that long.
It made me feel
Like
powerless.
1,000 years, bro?
And I hated
Move on.
it.
Hello, Klaus.
Hello, Mikael.
Unless you're running from someone.
My father.
Greetings, boy.
My father hunted me for 1,000 years, and the closest he ever came was the day he killed my favorite horse.
I knew he was the only thing that you feared, and I wanted you to run.
I am the only man in history who's been able to drive him off.
Fleeing your brute of a father. Always on the run, living like dogs.
Father's always hated you most.
No, my father hated me too. You, who knows better than anyone the specific agony of a father's hatred.
To bring him fear and pain.
He severed its neck with a sword.
Why did Mikael start hunting Klaus?
As a warning.
When he killed for the first time, we knew what he truly was.
He's a beast, an abomination.
For that, he became my father's greatest shame.
He's not my father, is he? When Mikael found out, he murdered my real father.
Father is beside himself with rage.
When I found out that he wasn't really my son, my relief was glorious.
I wonder if your real father would be as embarrassed as I was of you. You need to realize, as I did, before I discovered that you were not mine. When I learned his mother had lain with a beast to beget him, Niklaus is an abomination.
Michael's greatest weakness as a human was his pride.
I shall end him.
When your father wants to kill you, he wants to kill you.
One thing that I do kind of wish that they really answer, because Klaus did ask the question in the originals, why exactly did Mikael hate him like so much? Because I understand that you felt betrayed and heartbroken at your wife having an affair, which is how obviously Klaus got here. I understand that part of your anger, even though it is definitely misplaced. But I mean, I guess the other part of that too is like a prideful thing, and like, you know, how Mikael always praise, like, not praise himself, but he was kind of like he was always known for being a strong warrior, right? And then he would raise his children to be like that too. And then obviously with Klaus, he was different in that he was much weaker, not as skilled, because once again, because of the mother. So misplaced anger that you got there, Michael. So why exactly does he hate Klaus so much? Like, Klaus, like, killing Esther, like, sure, you can have a little vendetta about that, but it can't just be because he is a werewolf or that he's not yours, or even because he was weak compared to the other kids because of that necklace that Esther gave. It can't be that. Like, there has to be more to it, because I feel like all of what we know of Michael's anger toward Klaus, it's all like surface level stuff that we as viewers already know about. So, like, what is the deep-rooted issue behind Michael's hatred of Klaus? If anybody knows, I would honestly love your take on it, because for years it has been boggling my mind. And even like some of my family members who I've like introduced into like this world, like this universe, they would like say, "Oh, he's just mad because Klaus isn't his," and blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, that's part of it, but it's not the sole reason. There's definitely something else there. But even when Klaus asked, he wanted to know why Michael hated him so much, and Michael just answered, "I don't know, I just did." Kind of seems a little lazy, if you ask me, from a writing perspective. It's like, no, give us the reason. Why do you hate him so much? Because you spent 1,000 years trying to hunt him down and kill him. And even then, you didn't just want to hunt him. You wanted to strip away every piece of happiness that he found within the intervals of time that you were apart. Like, that is hating to a next degree. Like, why would you do that? I want to know the reason. Like, what is your take on why Michael hates Klaus? I'm curious. Let me know in the comments.
As a vampire, that was magnified.
Sorry, I kind of took a couple minutes there, but
He went on a rampage
it's just a
and killed
thought.
half the village.
Not you, never you.
How can I be anything but a lesser brother? That's all I am to you, isn't it?
So I came here to give you a chance to help me put down that whelp for good.
You keep saying kill, but you're immortal. You can't be killed.
Oh, well, we can.
The moment you reveal yourself, you unleash an angry horde.
Rumors of Michael are rampant across Europe.
None of whom can kill me. And my father was the only one with the means to do it.
Father can. Given the chance, he will.
Well, then I
I guess maybe because of Henrik, but even then, y'all barely mention him, so it can't be that either.
The two of you going round and round trying to kill each other.
You do not talk to abominations. You do not reason with them.
You're obsessing over the death of someone whose fatal flaw is he was fathered by another guy.
You erase them. After I kill you, I will remain here until every last person who remembers you is dead.
Like,
the
that's
deeds of the
crazy,
mighty
dude.
Klaus will be remembered by no one.
That is actually crazy. Psychotic behavior.
And you, boy, will simply never have existed.
That is so wild to me.
In my experience,
Absolute psychotic behavior.
cause pain. It remains within us. The story we tell ourselves so we know who we are. I think you've forgotten what he was truly like. Vicious father. But I think we can both agree the intervening centuries have turned me into an altogether different beast. Your cruelty was nothing. Made sure of that, bastard son. I, of all people, know whether the parent raising you loves you or loathes you. They still form who you are.
Klaus may not be your blood, but he certainly has picked up a few things from you along the way.
Do not mention the bastard son!
First, the promise of an offspring meant little to me. You said you saw my father, and I recalled my father. How he held me in contempt from the moment I was born.
Why do you call him that? He's not your real dad.
He is not my son!
He's done damage only a father could do.
Find your daughter and show her how we dole out discipline in this family!
I remember
remember the day that Father caught you whittling little chess pieces with his
Sebastian's
hunting
performance
knife?
as Michael is unmatched, though.
Mercilessly, and
He,
for so long,
like, truly embraced that
I
role.
actually feared for your life.
Kudos to
I
him.
convinced Klaus that there was good in everyone. That you really did care about him. Deep inside once. He told me I was naive. But I could never fathom how deep your hatred ran.
When Niklaus was born, I was overjoyed. I thought, this one has the eyes of a warrior. He will be worthy.
I thought if I could just best him just once, he would see that I'm worthy.
But my hope was short-lived.
Father says he used to take me hunting later, but I'm no good.
If you can't hunt, you're nothing but a burden.
Not with him.
If you are determined to prove yourself a weakling, I should cast you out.
It frightens me.
He gets angry at me.
But he grows more pathetic every day. Look at you, boy.
I'm sorry.
It's a shame we can't feed on sad-eyed apologies. You are pathetic. It's your one and only skill.
You were never the recipient of his cruelty. None of you were. Not Cole, not Finn, none of you.
Not long after Niklaus broke the spell which prevented him from becoming a hybrid,
Michael is dead.
he defeated our father.
And that is another thing, too. The fact that his hatred was solely focused on, I'm going to say, child, because, you know, the hatred began when Klaus was a child, so I'm using that like as a term specifically for back then. His focus of hatred was solely on Klaus, that one child. You had, what is it, 7? Technically, he believed that Freya died, so I guess that puts it back down to 6. But, bro, you had a total of 7 children, and you target this one for what? For what? Especially since you literally said earlier that you were overjoyed when he was born. You were overjoyed when he was born. And then all of that joy and pride and happiness that you felt toward him over the years just became hatred. What was the shift? Like what caused that change from the positive feelings that he had that made them negative? What happened that caused him to turn all of that into hatred? Because it clearly had to have happened early on, because you saw that he was slapping and abusing, really. He was abusing Klaus since he was like less than 10 years old. Like, what was the change? What could possibly have happened for you to start doing that? I just, a father's hatred for real. Like, this title, dude, there is no better title for this video, honestly.
How about this would make him happy? You should see yourself. A murderous expression. A self-righteous posture. He was angrier than ever. You look like father.
What has happened to you? I remember the sweet boy who made me laugh and gave me gifts.
After all this time, I did not make myself this way.
How could you have fallen so far?
Am I not Michael's son?
Don't whine about how little you were loved.
It was Michael who ruined me.
Nobody cares about you anymore, boy.
I get it. Your father didn't love you, so you assume that no one else will either.
Is that what this is about?
I just need to be rid of you.
To what end, Niklaus?
You just don't want to be alone?
So you can live forever with no one at your side?
No. And also, sorry I'm pausing again, but another thing to add on top of that, Esther. She was a witch. She was a witch with the power to stop him. She could have stopped Michael from doing what he was doing at any point in time. There wouldn't have been a single thing that Michael could do about it, because despite him being a really strong and skilled Viking warrior, he was still just a regular human. She was a witch. She could have done something to make him stop, but she chose not to. ma'am. Like, ma'am, what are we doing? Like, you see this man terrorizing your child for something that's not even his fault. It's your fault that this is even happening in the first place, and you do nothing to stop it? What are we talking about right now? Like, I can't stand Esther. At least with Michael, he has this, like, cool thing of being, like, a villain, like a really cool, ancient, and powerful vampire villain. Like, he's got that going for him. And it's like, I'm intrigued by villainous characters. I am, like, by my nature of being attracted to, like, these, like, darker stories and things like that, I'm immediately intrigued by villainous characters, especially if they're done well, and Michael was done well. But Esther, I don't like her. At least I like Michael. He's a horrible person, but I still like him anyway as a character. But Esther, she was just lying, manipulative, and honestly, like, the inaction that she displayed for Klaus getting hurt by Michael throughout his entire human life is actually insane to me, because you could have stopped it at any point. You were a witch. You had the power to stop him. Why didn't you? Why? Esther is the worst. I can't stand that woman. Why?
I wasn't born like this. I think I would have liked...
You were powerful enough to turn your children into vampires, but you weren't powerful enough to stop one man from abusing your child? Get out of here.
1,000 years been
Get the F out of here.
All of the disappointments, the revelations of betrayal. Paranoid, vengeful. There were moments when all you had to do was be my father. And even then, you despised me, didn't you?
There it is.
I want to know why.
I don't know.
Don't give me that crap.
Just did.
Tell me why.
Betrayal is in
Why
your
did you hate me so much? I need to know.
I always hate him, but wanting Niklaus to.
If I were Klaus, I would have yelled at his face. Tell me.
He ventured out to watch them turn, and he took my youngest son, Henrik. He was torn apart.
An accident.
An accident?
I killed my mother.
He murdered my wife!
And I blamed it on my father.
His own mother!
He made up this entire lie about your father so that he wouldn't lose you.
He blinded you, Rebecca.
He betrayed me.
Killed your mother.
You were never the one I was after.
If you were after him,
Stand with me.
you were after me.
Or fall with him. He turned my entire family against me.
You stand against me?
I will always choose him.
And I'm pausing again, sorry. But that scene right here with Michael and Elijah, I have been watching some, like, reactors watching TVD, and I am blanking on their name. But there was a woman in there who had already seen the show, and she's, like, you know, reacting to it with her friends who are first-time watchers. She brought up this idea that if Michael hadn't only had the one white oak steak, he would have killed all of the children who sided with Klaus. And I honestly never thought about that until she said it. Because I was like, well, that can't be right, because we know for certain he was only after Klaus. But then you watch this scene, Michael straight up says, stand with me or fall with him. And obviously he has the white oak stake pointed at Elijah's heart there. And I'm like, oh my God, she's actually right. Because Elijah will always choose Klaus over him. Any child who chooses Klaus over him is an obstacle in his way. And you know how he feels about obstacles. You remove them. So she was right. She like really brought that to my attention. And I really thought about it. If that one stake was like the indestructible one, you know, the one that could be used repeatedly, if he had that one for those centuries, oh yeah, he definitely would have killed Elijah here. He would have killed Elijah here, and who knows what would have happened with Cole and Finn. I imagine that Finn would have just begged to die anyway, and Cole, I feel like he would have sided with whoever would have provided him with the better offer. Like who, because you know he's always like playing the field a little bit. Whose side will benefit me more? You know, I feel like he would have played it that route, which I don't blame him, to be honest. And Rebecca, you just heard her say, if you were after him, Klaus, you were after me. So she probably would have ended up dead too. Michael is a terrible father. he is a terrible father, bro. Oh my God.
For him? You left me to suffer.
That's
at the hands
wild.
of a father who valued only strength.
Could you be more pathetic?
Get on your feet, son!
I always wonder what Henrik, the youngest son, like, how would he have reacted to see his family grow to be this?
Kill her. Do it, boy.
It's the only way to make it right.
Because he was the only one that didn't see any of them as vampires, so
Much better than this.
how would he react to seeing how his family turned out?
The bloodshed in your family does not have to be an endless cycle. And after centuries on this earth, do you really not see that all of your violence is pointless?
You see, we're fighting for the same thing, you and I, to save the lives of the
Dahlia was
only
an
ones
awesome
who
villain.
do not see us for the
She's one of my
monsters that we
favorites. She's in
truly are.
my top
If Dahlia is
3.
coming, then she is a threat to my child. Father, if we win, both our daughters will be free. Care to join your bastard son in the witch hunt?
Are you ready?
I was born ready.
In 1,000 years, I've never seen anyone successfully stand against your loving, wicked father.
So you two are friends now?
Absolutely not. We're merely aligned out of necessity for the purpose we both enjoy the most. Glorious murder. One final hunt together, then.
You made an alliance with him.
We actually made quite a team. Do try to keep up, old man.
You fought beside him.
And just when it looked as though we might for once be allies, I drove a stake through his heart.
And then you killed him. Michael raised you.
And I ended him. When Michael is truly gone, do you think then I'll find peace?
I certainly hope so.
Yeah, man, that was awesome. That was awesome. I'm glad TVDU editor requested that I react to this, because it like really hones in on not necessarily the relationship between Klaus and Michael, but just Michael's perspective on how he views Klaus, really. This video really shined a light on that, and it was fantastic. I really want to know what is the deep-rooted cause behind Michael's hatred of Klaus, and again, if any of you have an opinion on that, if you have a take on it, let me know. I'd be very interested in hearing it. But yeah, that's going to be it from me, guys. If you enjoyed my reaction to this, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next video. See ya.